Pass the Puck, tactical videos for your hockey team.
In this video, we're going to talk about the mechanics of the Canon. Please help us grow our channel by following and hitting the like button below. Let's get started. This is Kevin Delaney from DelaneyHockey.com. So let's break down Kevin Delaney's one-timer shot. So here, let's pretend that he's out at the point and he's setting up for that one-timer shot. Notice where his stick is located, and once he winds up, notice the distance between his legs, and you will see that he has shifted his weight from center more towards the back leg. How can you tell? Well, his front leg is straight and the back leg is bent. Thus, the weight is on the back leg. Now, if I could, I'd like to see his stick blade be more parallel to the ice surface so it looks more flat rather than pointing up towards the ceiling. Why? Well, let's look at this diagram. So here we have a side view and we have an overhead view. And what you'll see here is the side view point of ice contact and the overhead view point of ice contact. Now, this is very important here for your shooting, whether it's a wrist shot, a snapshot, or whether it's a slap shot. Why? Well, it has everything to do with torque. Let me give you an example. Have you ever heard of a compound bow? You know, it's that bow that has pulleys on the top and pulleys on the bottom and multiple strings to make the arrow fly, right? Well, a compound bow has pulleys on the top and bottom and multiple strings so that when you start to pull it back, it's very hard to pull back. It's very strenuous. But at a certain point of pulling back, I'm going to say you're going to find the sweet spot about 6 inches or so. It becomes easier past that point. And as you pull completely back on that arrow and you release it, it has the same speed as it's going forward till it gets to that 6-inch sweet spot where all of a sudden all of the pulleys and gears and everything work in and that thing shoots out like a rocket. Well, that's the same concept here with this point of ice contact. Now, I'm going to tell you this over and over and over again. Don't move this point of ice contact. It must stay there as you load. And what I mean by load is as you go through the point of touching the ice and releasing. So here you see that I've added a red arrow to indicate downward pressure on the shaft. Now, when you add this downward pressure on the shaft, I need you to concentrate on this area here, which is kind of the elbow between the blade and the shaft. You have to concentrate there to have maximum pressure in this area as you push down. Now remember, don't move that point of ice contact. Why? Well, as you push down on the stick shaft, it's going to turn due to the stress at this point. This is where the torque starts to build within the shot, just like the compound bow. However, you must not allow the shaft to turn once you make the ice contact. You must have a tight grip on the shaft with both hands as you connect with the ice. Now, during the loading up of the shaft, due to the downward pressure on the stick shaft, the point of ice contact will start to move from the tip of the stick blade towards the heel of the blade. Now, when the heel of the stick blade touches the ice surface, the shaft is completely torqued and loaded. The stick shaft will have a bow on the shaft like the compound bow. And at this point, the puck is ready to launch like a rocket. So let's take a look at this wrist shot, shall we? Now, one of the first things you'll see is his upper hand placement. I find it quite interesting that it would be so close to the body, but I'm thinking this could be a deception thing against the goalie. Why? Well, as a goalie, I look for several things. I look for eye contact, I look for shoulder alignment, I look for glove placement, I look for glove separation, I look to see where his stick is, what angle of the blade is, I look to see where his skates are located, whether they're wide or close, and lastly, I look to see what angle his skate blades are at, whether it's inside edge or outside edge. And to be honest with you, a good goalie can read all of this before the shot is released. And I tell all my players that if you want to score on your enemy, you have to think like your enemy. Now here, you can see that he's cradled the puck off to the side with the puck ahead of his right skate. Plus, you can see that he's placed the full blade of his stick on the ice. Now, as we advance this frame by frame, you will see that he starts to pick the heel of his blade up off the ice. Now, as you see him add a downward pressure to the shaft at the point of ice contact, the heel starts to drop while the torque is being developed in the shaft. The more downward pressure he adds to the shaft, the more the stick starts to bend at the flex point. The second the heel touches the ice, the stick is fully loaded with torque for the release of the cannon. Now, one of the hard things for players to understand is just how easy it is to add torque to the shaft. The simple way to add this is leg separation. Why? Well, think of it this way. If your skates are close together, there is minimal downward pressure. But as you start to widen your stance, the pressure is added to the shaft. And as you can see, he's shooting off the correct leg. I know. So big deal. He's shooting off the correct leg. Well, by shooting off the correct leg, it allows you to shift your body weight to the shaft, adding more torque and flex to the shaft. Plus, at the point of release, notice that he adds more weight to the inside edge of the left skate, where it's giving him braking power to help compensate for the forward body motion. This concludes our video on the mechanics of the cannon. In our next video, we're going to talk about the shooting alley. Please check out our other videos on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/passthepuck. Please like, follow, and share. Until next time, be safe.